where we are today is what the locals call Shag Rock, which is just below us here. But to us Bundjalung and Yungbal people, we know it as Balagan and Golgan. Balagan meaning strong warrior type man, and the Golgan is a pretty woman. This is a important story about history of this area and the way this story travels through country. It all starts here in this area here, and it reverberates through country all the way through the western Bundjalung nations and all the way through to Arunte country and all the way through to Broome, the Dampier Cape Dampier I think it's called. And this story starts here and goes through country and comes back. So Balagan was a very strong warrior, and all the warriors around here, they looked up to him, and he was the leader of all the warriors. And every few years they would all get together and they would leave for war, and they would travel through country west, and they would go to this other place and they would go and fight these other warriors. And over a period of time, his wives, Golgan, they got really upset with him leaving all the time with his warriors. So they decided to follow him through country and see what he was up to. They followed him, and he told them, look, don't follow me, it's not your place, you can't come, we're going this way, this is our business. And they wouldn't listen. So he chased them back here, he told them to move, and they followed him again. And the next time, or the third time, he told them to stay, you can't come, otherwise bad things are going to happen, sort of a thing. So the women, they stayed, and Balagan left with his warriors. Balagan, off he went to fight these other warriors at a different place, and the sisters, they were his wives, they travelled through country. So it happened here, but it went to different countries like Gumbaynggirr country and Yaegl country and all those places. It all ties us all together. And one wife went through to central New South Wales somewhere, and the other one went to central Queensland that we don't know today, and they started digging with their digging sticks, digging a hole. And when they were getting deep into the hole, the water started to rise into these holes. And they dug so much and so deep and so broadly that all this water come up and it covered all the land. And they had to come back this way. And Balagan and his warriors, they were on their way back from the war up in some other country, and they got to the old land bridge that was between India, Southeast Asia, all through the islands that we see today. And that was the land bridge, and that was all covered in water. So Balagan got really upset, and he had to do a special song. And he would do a special song, and he would pull out this string from his stomach out of his mouth, and he would throw it to the next island, and then he'd cross that bridge, and he'd do it all again, and he'd throw it and go to the next island. And eventually they come back to the mainland that we now know as Australia, and they come through country and they noticed things was changed. And when they got home, he found out what the ladies did, his wives. So he chased them. He chased them through country, and they chased them through Gumbaynggirr country and out through all the way down to South Australia. And unfortunately he killed them. And there's two rocks down in South Australia somewhere, I don't know where they are, but there's two rocks down South Australia coast that represent those two ladies. And it's a very significant story, because not only does it tell us the history of climate, but also tells the history of our people and how far they travelled. So when they were going through their travels for war, they would go all the way to a place called India, or now known as India. When they would hit the warriors with their bundi or their boomerang, all their hair would fall out of their turban, yeah. And that represents, we know them as the Indian people, and they will go up there and fight them. And it tells us there was a time period where the sea levels rose as well. So you're looking at tens of thousands of years ago that this event happened, and it's only a small story, but it's very significant. So we hold this part of the story, the Balagan Golgan, but then the Gumbaynggirr people have a different part of that story, which is very important around what they did down there with the digging sticks, and they'd done a cross. And that not only connects us through there, but where they went after that, they went to different countries as well. So we're finding out the line of what these two sisters did, and eventually we're going to reconnect these stories. So very important story. So right here is Balagan Gonga. Yeah, to the locals known as Shag Rock. But the rocks aren't here anymore. They've been bowled over by a cyclone, and the swell pushed them over. So they were there for a long time, and unfortunately they've been pushed over now. It's a good fishing spot. Yeah, it's very important to tell these stories, not only for the youth and also our young people and the Aboriginal young people, and also the broader community. It's a very beautiful place where we are, and these stories are really connected through this country and where we sit. On the east coast here, we are the most easterly point of the east coast of Australia, and this is where the sun first rises, so all our stories always go to the west. Yeah, so it's very important. Yeah, it's a very, very important story.